On the eve of the wedding, my fiancé's adopted sister was drugged at a bar and called for help. Her body was burning with fever. I grabbed my fiancé as he was about to rush out. Take her to the hospital. Doctors have proper antidotes. Julian Zane slapped me for suggesting that. There was a savagery in his eyes I had never seen before. Nora, do you have any conscience at all? Elena is suffering a fate worse than death, and you are still nitpicking? He yanked off his tie and spoke in a hoarse tone. She is the sister I've cherished since childhood. I will save her even if I have to sacrifice myself to do it. I watched him undo his shirt buttons with his trembling fingers. Elena, flushed and feverish, fell into his arms. The private room door slammed shut in front of me. The sounds of passion inside struck me, like blow after blow, shattering 5 years of blind devotion into dust. My left cheek still burned, while the sounds of Julian and Elena's panting drifted from the private room. The sticky splash of bodies and the dull thud of flesh against flesh were mixed with the crowd's suggestive whispers. They slithered into my ears like venomous snakes. Wow, that is surprising. Mr. Zane always looks so proper, but he is pretty passionate with his sister. What sister? Looks more like a lover to me. With Julian's status, so what if she were his sister? I mechanically poured drink after drink down my throat. It burned, but it was nothing compared to the pain crushing my chest. The door to the private room suddenly swung open. Julian stepped out, his clothes in disarray. His shirt hung wide open, exposing a chest covered in scratch marks. Fresh red kiss marks stood out against his neck. Elena clung to him as if she weighed nothing, wrapped only in his suit jacket. The insides of her thighs were smeared with something unmistakable. Julian, you are amazing, she said sweetly, deliberately brushing her lipstick against his collarbone. Nora, you are so lucky. A chorus of whistles exploded around us. Julian noticed me and reached out, but his body still reeked of sex. The scent clung to him, thick and cloying. I jerked back, knocking over a bottle behind me. The sound of shattering glass cut through the room, and everything went silent. Disgusting, I heard myself say. My voice echoed sharply in the sudden quiet. Frost crept over Julian's expression. Do you really have to act like this? You know Elena's situation is special. I let out a cold laugh and pointed at the fresh hickey on Elena's neck. Special. So, you had to personally jump in and treat her. Julian, this little incest drama of yours is really something. Nora, would Elena even be like this if it weren't for you? He snapped. Besides, it is just my first time. Once we're married, you can have as many as you want. I clapped slowly and raised my glass. Congratulations, Mr. Zane, on losing your virginity. I wish you and your sister a long and happy life together. Julian's impatience finally snapped. Nora, can you stop already? Elena is just my sister. Elena suddenly whimpered softly. Julian, I don't feel well again. He turned around at once. As he walked away, he tossed a light remark over his shoulder. Nora, go buy a box of condoms. The biggest size. With his arm around Elena, he headed back to the private room, then added, and get some fever medicine. Elena's temperature is a bit on the higher side. Also, don't say things like that again. Elena doesn't like it. I grabbed a bottle and hurled it at the wall. Glass shards flew, slicing across the back of my hand. Blood dripped down my wrist. Yet I felt nothing. It was true that when despair reached its peak, pain disappeared. I stumbled out of the room. By the time I returned to the villa, it was nearly midnight. I threw up violently in the bathroom until a shrill ringtone shattered the silence. The name Zelda flashed on the screen, blindingly bright. Only then did I realize I had passed out on the bathroom floor after vomiting. Nora, the wedding's about to start. Where are you? A sharp female voice screeched through the phone. I knew it. You are just an ill-mannered and poor nobody with no background. If Julian hadn't insisted on marrying you, I never would have agreed. Mrs. Zane, have Julian and Elena arrived? I asked quietly. The shouting paused for a moment. Aren't you the bride? Shouldn't you be getting ready? Julian's exhausted. He stayed up night after night convincing relatives to come. Isn't it normal for him to sleep in a bit? Your son is busy in bed with his adopted sister. I cut in, my voice hoarse and unrecognizable. Would you like to hear a recording from the scene?